After watching day 2 of the draft, I have determined I don't really want to make these videos in a way where I'm just recapping the entire episode, because a lot of things happen that don't really move me, things that I don't really care too much about. So I really am going to try to focus on the things that really stuck out to me, that actually feels like it moved a story forward, moved the needle a little bit. Shout out Roman. And that does start with the opening of the show. Becky comes out there with a promo. It gets interrupted by Liv and Nia. And what was a little bit weird about that is that Nia was drafted to SmackDown. So I think they're just trying to get a little bit more use out of her to mess with Liv and to mess with Becky before the roster actually sets. But overall, this does set up a match later in the show where Liv and Nia end up having themselves a match. And this is the first instance where I really felt like I'm not sure how I feel about Liv in the ring. I feel like I always have kind of just been excited to have her back because she was always a part of a match. A part of a feud that was intriguing to me. I feel like she's very interesting outside of her matches. I feel like she's kind of has like that don't mess with me look, how she can really seem like she can be that manipulative character. But this was the first match where I was kind of like, I was a little unimpressed with Liv. And I don't think it was Nia, because I've really enjoyed a lot of Nia's matches, especially recently with her going up against Rhea at Elimination Chamber. I like what Nia brings to her matches, and it felt like Liv just didn't have it for me. I don't know if that's, is she known for in-ring work being good, or is it maybe I just haven't gotten to see a lot of her, because again, I've only been watching, if you're new here, by the way, my name is Josh. I am new to watching WWE. I've only been watching for the last year. So since I've only been watching the last year, I don't have a ton of experience watching Liv. I've seen her kind of get hurt multiple times, haven't seen her in the ring a ton, and I didn't feel like she was that fun to watch in the ring. But where she was fun to watch is where we caught a little snippet during another promo that I don't remember who was talking because I was so focused on what we saw. But we do see at one point Liv and Dominic Mysterio come walking out of a room in the backstage area. I'm telling you, I called this before it happened. I think it was before I was making videos, so I have no proof, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. I'm thinking that Liv is going to manipulate Dom the same way Rhea manipulated Dom forever ago, and we are setting ourselves up for a beautiful Rhea Ripley return. And I don't know if it's going to be like Dom, being like, oh, I'm with Liv now, and Rhea just beats the crap out of both of them, or if it's going to be like a battle of Dominic Mysterio round 2, apparently. I don't know. I love what they're doing with that, because Dom doesn't really have anything to offer for me in like a singles push or anything. I think he works really well as like a side piece. So I'm looking forward to see where that's going. If you missed it, yeah, Liv walked out of a back room area, and then like a second later, Dom followed. So that was just a little sneaky thing they put in the background of a promo. So with that whole thing, that's what stuck out to me. By the way, I am proud to announce you guys voted on a match for me to watch for the first time, and it was a landslide. I'll put it up on the screen, but I believe it was like 80-something% of you out of 700 plus that voted, saying that you wanted me to watch Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Well, I have good news. I watched it, and you can watch me watch it. The link is down below. It is on my Patreon for free to watch. That's right. You can click on it. No membership required. The first one I'm posting, I want it to be a showing of what it will be. If you want to get more of those in the future, you're welcome to subscribe to the Patreon, but that one will always be available as an introductory to my Patreon, completely free. So feel free to check that out. I'll put a link in the description. If you do choose to support me in the channel, I really do appreciate it. If not, totally fine. Still going to be putting a ton of videos here on the YouTube channel for totally free. Something else that stuck out, I liked seeing Gunther face Xavier Woods. I feel like we got to see him look strong again. I feel like it's a nice little way to build him up after taking the loss against Sammy. I am rooting for Gunther to make big pushes. I am hoping that he doesn't get left in like this mid-card background scene. I want him to win King of the Ring. I don't know who else is going to be in it, but he is someone I would like to see win, and I want to see him go for the big titles. I was very excited to see Gunther in person at SummerSlam. every time he has a match, it feels like it's just a banger. So while it does make me a little sad to see the New Day have to take the L here, I really do want to see Gunther get a lot more push in that main event scene. I think he could be really good against some of these big names, like seeing Gunther against Damian Priest or Cody Rhodes at some point would be really exciting. I don't have a lot to say about Awesome Truth defending their titles tonight, but I do have a question. R-Truth is hilarious. Has he always been like this? I know he's been around the WWE for a long time. Has he always been this goofball? Like, is this a new like character he's kind of put on? Because I don't feel like I've ever heard of him, and I feel like he is so genuinely just hilarious that I feel like I would have heard about him or seen him in a I don't know, in a clip somewhere at some point, but I have never heard of him before watching him this last year, and I love his character. It has actually had me laughing every time he comes up on screen. But after we did see R-Truth, we had Chad Gable catch a big boot from Sami Zayn backstage before going to defend his Intercontinental title, which was a little odd for me. I don't feel like that felt like a very Sami move. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the situation a little bit, but it did lead to Chad Gable interrupting Sami while he was defending his title against Bronson Reed. So maybe it led to a DQ. So maybe it's going to lead to some sort of a triple threat situation, which would be exciting. I think Bronson Reed, Chad Gable, and Sami Zayn would be a really fun triple threat to watch. If not, maybe it could just be a three-way feud that could be going forward for a little while. Either way, that seems like it would be a lot of fun. One more thing about Alpha Academy. I don't know, do you guys feel the same way that I feel about Maxine Dupree? I'm actually really having a good time rooting for her. I don't know if it's because I can kind of relate to it a little bit, especially with me being new to WWE. I see her as a character who is also really new to wrestling, and seeing her kind of get past that and grow, and seeing her pull moves from those who have taught her to pull off, at this point, near victories. I think it was really fun to see her actually have a good match. It was a quick one, but a good match against Candice LeRae. I will say I do want Otis to swing on Chad Gable. I think that's going to be something that could happen at some point in the future, where he says the wrong thing, he pushes the Alpha Academy too far, and I think that's going to be potentially what splits up the group. And I hope it's Otis just swinging at him, just taking him out, walking away with the rest of Alpha Academy, leaving Chad Gable to go hang out with probably the Creed brothers or something. Okay, I guess I can't go through this whole video without talking about the draft. This one was a little bit better. I'm not going to make a whole, I told myself no matter what happened, I was not going to make a second video just bashing the draft, and I'm going to stand by that, but I am going to say it was a little bit better. I have one major complaint, and I'm going to start with it so that way I can finish on a more positive note. No, I have two major complaints. One of them is kind of a joke. Chelsea Green going to SmackDown is an absolute joke. Not getting Samantha Irvin saying Chelsea Green every week, that hurts. That hurts my soul as a fan. It hurts my heart. And I feel like Mike Rome has some huge boots to fill, or heels to fill, in trying to deliver that same name on SmackDown. But really, what I don't love is I feel like we were advertised for weeks about the draft that NXT was going to be making picks. What happened? Did I miss something? Are they doing NXT picks off air? Are they doing it tomorrow on NXT? I feel like we were told that all three brands were going to be making picks, and they really ended Raw tonight as if it was the final round. They said it was the final round. So that felt a little weird. I was kind of hoping to see NXT pull some people down. I mean, I guess if that's not normal, fine, but I swear they said they were going to be doing that, so maybe I'm wrong. Io Sky and Damage Control moved over to Raw, which I kind of like. I think Bayley and Damage Control I felt like that was going to be something that was lingering longer than I'd wanted to. I like that Bayley can focus on a true singles run and she can just be away from her old faction. But what that does mean is that Jade and Bianca and then the Kabuki Warriors, this feud is probably going to end after Backlash. Well, I guess that's not true, because if there's only one set of tag titles, I think that's a reason that they can go from show to show. I don't know, but probably not going to see that feud go too much further past Backlash. Ilya Dragunov going to Raw, I am excited because that's where Gunther is, and I am down for him to either take Giovanni Vinci's spot in Imperium, or more preferably, I would like to see Gunther versus Dragunov at some point. I feel like that would be a match for the ages. He is one of the few people I have actually seen do a few matches in NXT, and every single time Dragunov just puts on a great match. So I think that would be really cool. Lyra Valkyria is going to Raw. I don't know a ton about her. I saw her have something with Rhea a long time ago, I feel like, and I liked her then. Blair Davenport went to SmackDown. Don't know a lot about her, but I'm just happy to see some NXT names get pulled up. I feel like that makes the draft actually interesting. And then the only other part that was actually something of substance for me when it comes to the draft, Braun Strowman making a return. Haven't seen him since he was, I think since he was tagging with Ricochet like a long time ago. I don't know if he got hurt or what, but dude's huge. Dude looks scary. Looking forward to seeing him be back in the mix of things. But overall, I mean, I know I said I wouldn't say anything more negative on it, but the draft, now that it's kind of officially over, kind of a dud for me. I don't think I'm going to be getting too hyped for it next year. Listen, I know because I'm new, I don't appreciate all the legends making the picks and stuff. I know like the Dudley dudes came back out. I'm kidding. I know it's not the Dudley dudes. It's the Dudley bros or something. Dudley fellas. I don't remember, but you guys gave me a lot of crap for not knowing it. Dudley boys, the Dudley boys. But this is my point. I don't know who these people are. So when Doug Dimmadome comes out there and makes a pick, it feels out of place for me. It feels more like the GMs should be making the picks. But that's a me problem. I recognize that's a me problem. That's not a real complaint. That's just something that made it even harder for me to buy into the draft. But let me know, what do you think of the draft? Is this just the standard? You guys kind of said that it's never really been that good. How do you feel about the NXT picks? Tell me what you think about this episode. And don't forget, if you want to watch me react to Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 for the first time, the link to the Patreon's down below. You guys voted on that match. That episode is completely free to watch. You don't have to have a membership. It's just so you can see what type of content will be on the Patreon, so you can decide afterwards if you'd like to subscribe to that as well. I appreciate your time. Thank you to all my patrons for all the support. That could be you. I'll see you guys in the next one.